Hi, my name's Chris Smith. I'm a brand creative group head with the Richards Group in Dallas, Texas, and I write radio, some of which is hopefully occasionally funny. A lot of people fail to do comedy and radio because they're not funny. No, that's not true. Comedy is hard because there's no real one definition of it, and it's very subjective, and what one person finds very, very funny, another person doesn't find funny at all. I know this. This is basically every meeting I've ever had. I present something I think is hilarious, and there's just stone faces, especially if it's over a conference call. Doing comedy over a conference call is nearly impossible. I think the problem is a lot of people think that what is funny is, if you want to make something funny, you have to put in a lot of jokes. And that's not really true. What's really funny, if you listen, is not a joke, but it's a surprise. That's what really makes people laugh, is something they didn't see coming. Obviously with a humorous bent to it. So I think a lot of people, when they sit down to write a funny spot, they think they have to cram as many funny jokes and words into the script as possible. And comedy, like a fire, if it can't breathe, it goes out. You need room for the jokes to hit, for the timing. Timing obviously is the most important rule of comedy. And I think when you have such a finite 30 seconds, 60 seconds, timing for a lot of people goes out the window and they just try to pack it with jokes. You have to really let it breathe. Let the actor interpret. Let the joke live, unless it's a rapid fire thing. And that's really hard. And when it works fantastically. But when it doesn't, it can kind of have the opposite effect, and you just groan, which is the last thing. The last reaction you want to any commercial is just, oh my God. And we've all done it. I have a whole reel of groans. I would never tell a young writer to avoid trying comedy. Obviously, that's our job, is to write something that gets an emotional reaction, and comedy is, the best one, because people feel positive about your brand if you make them laugh. I would never tell them to not attempt it, of course, but I would tell them to study. It's not something that comes naturally to everyone, and it's just like any other discipline. If you want to be good at comedy, read comedy, listen to comedians, listen to funny radio. You have to become sort of a student of it and make it kind of your hobby, because it's like anything else. It's not something you just can pick up and do. There's a craft to it. And listen to, find a comedian or a writer who has your sense of humor, and listen to them. Listen to their pacing, listen to their timing, listen to their word choice, and and try and put that in your own words.